All right, guys, it is lucky day number 13 in a row of some Marvel Rivals education. I just wanted to say thank you so much. We're almost at that 2-week mark of just posting videos every single day of different educational topics for you guys from Marvel Rivals, because honestly, I'm so happy with how we've been growing as a community lately. I really have been seeing a lot of the mission so far of just kind of spreading more positivity rather than negativity, because I don't know, there's too much negativity in this Marvel Rivals community. So we're just doing what we can to just be the best that we can be right now. We're not the best players in the world, but my goodness, we're just trying to be the best people we could be. I know it's kind of cringe and cliche, but it's true. So guys, today's episode is all gonna be about the comeback mindset. So basically, a lot of these matches, they start off rough. How do we win these when we start off slow? How do we win when we're behind? So the best players, in my opinion, don't just win when it's easy. They know how to fight back when the game is really tough and everything's kind of falling apart. So why are comebacks actually possible in the first place? So Marvel Rivals is a huge momentum based game. It's not just a guaranteed snowball. Momentum plays a huge part in this game, where if you're just rolling and you're just staggering the enemy team over and over again to the point where they never have a chance to regroup, yeah, you're most likely gonna win. But how do you turn that around if you're on the receiving end of this? That's what we're going to talk about today. So things like respawn timers, alt rotations, and one mistake in general can really swing everything, and it can change the entire match. So every team, even pros, I'm telling you, even pros, they throw leads. I've thrown leads before. I've come back from the other side of it. If you just don't tilt, you really give yourself a chance. I promise you. The amount of times that I've been in a game and like we lose first point and somebody on my team goes, well, GG. Like, bro, I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Like, there are so many different aspects to the game, and to just get tilted and be really defeated after the first point is wild. And it is one of the worst things that you could possibly do for not only yourself, but for the team as well. Because if you're already giving up, then you're basically giving the enemy team a free 6v5, because you don't really matter anymore because you're not even trying your hardest. So how do you change a few things around? What you want to do is you want to mentally reset mid-game. Like if you're struggling, your team's re-struggling, take a few seconds. It's better to take an extra 5-10 seconds to kind of mentally regroup and be like, hey, what's going wrong? Let go of blame and shift focus to problem solving. Blaming is not going to get you anywhere. Shifting your mental to problem solving is a great way to turn this around mid-game and be able to really make that comeback and make those switches to be able to lock the enemy team. So what you want to do is ask yourself, what is the best path to get back into this game? Is it hero switches? Is it placing other people on your team onto different characters into different roles? Do you want to play differently? Do you want to play more with your team? Do you want to play more separated from your team? You have to ask, what is the enemy team doing, and how do I counter that, and how do I switch things up enough so that it kind of throws off the enemy team? So avoid kind of like the desperation play mentality, because like desperate is kind of predictable and predictable is punishable. So you don't really want to do that. So you want to just work together as a team and find out how can you come back in this fight and in this match to be able to really turn the tides around for this match. So step 2 is to identify your new win conditions. This is how you turn it around, and this is how you go for that win. So a few examples are, you're completely out comped in poke. Like, dude, if they have an enemy Hawkeye, Hela, look, that is oppressive to go against. I'm telling you, I have been on the receiving end of an insanely cracked out Hela while on the same team as an insanely cracked out Hawkeye. Trust me, I understand. It is oppressive. It is horrendous to go against. So what you want to do is you want to switch the team around. force the enemy team to get into those like close range fights. So like get like a thing and a bunch of brawlers to go at it, and they will have a little bit less success, and maybe you'll have a chance to just turn that match around. So just try that. Or if you're down ults, just stall and bait their economy. There's so many different characters in the game that are really good at stall comp. Like Captain America is insanely good right now in season 2. He is so good at stall comp that if you're on like a payload based map, you can just annoy the enemy team and just sit on that payload and just waste so much time. There's so many characters that are like that. They can stall out so much. So just bait out all of their ultimate economy and as much of their cooldowns as possible, and just waste as much time as possible. Or if your teammates are staggered, just do a hard regroup and stop the bleeding, basically. Because I'm telling you, the more you put your foot down, if you're like, hey guys, we're snowballing and we're trickling, how about we take a few seconds to regroup before we just keep on staggering this entire time? I'm telling you, people will be a lot more receptive to that than you think. Like, obviously you want to say it in a nice way, but if you say it in a receptive way and you're like, hey guys, we're staggering like hardcore, we haven't had a team fight together since the first point, people kind of listen. They're like, oh yeah, you're actually right, I didn't realize that. So if you talk out loud and just tell your team, or even type that, or just something, it's better than just letting this cycle continuously happen. You have to break that cycle. You have to make a conscious effort to break that cycle, because if you don't, then you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And look, who cares? Like you're just going to end that match basically. So your job is really no longer to dominate the match, especially if you're going to be like going for stall. It's more to disrupt, stall, and swing momentum, because if you could do that, it disrupts their snowball effect, and then they lose that momentum. Maybe the enemy team starts kind of getting some in-house arguing, and it changes things, and then all of a sudden your team has a little bit of momentum in your favor, and you kind of stop the point, and then you turn to next time, and then you're on your round, and then you start pushing it, and you continue to push it, and you're getting pretty close to that end. So I don't know, it's just things to think about. So what you want to do is you want to start to play cleaner and not riskier. So the amount of times that I've seen panic ults in like to try and like force a play to happen, like no, that's not gonna really work most of the time. Like trust me, I've tried it. The amount of times that I've been like, wow, that was a terrible ultimate. Why did I do that? I tried to force a cool play, but it's not worth it at the end of the day. Don't take those 1v4s, don't do things like that. If you can play a lot more coherently and be like, hey, I'm gonna use my ult during the proper moment, when the team is ready, when the enemy team is in a position to ult them, situations like that. Because if you start panic ulting and just using it just because you're like, oh, I need to make a play right now, and you're most likely gonna your ultimate is most likely going to be telegraphed at that point, and the enemies will see it coming and they'll be able to dodge it. It'll just be an overall bad ult to use. So what you want to do is use things like corners, high ground, or even like choke points to force really better engagements. If you could force your enemies into choke points, bro, I'm telling you, that's one of the best things you can do in this game. Like, I know it's really cliche, but having the enemies in kind of a small crowded area together, that is nothing but amazing for your team, especially if you're on like Moon Knight or other characters that really punish close range gameplay. So things like Wolverine will also so punish that. Also, look for free picks. Like I'm telling you, we just talked about this topic yesterday, but overextenders happen so often that you'd be really astonished. Also, flankers or like lone supports, I'm telling you, that happens so often. And if you keep an eye out for that more often, you will be able to punish the enemy team. So if you turn the momentum, you start looking for those players, then you could turn that fight into a 6v5, and then you have more numbers, and you could turn that fight and you could win, and you could shift that momentum into your team's favor. So try that. Also, smart trades are 100% wins as well. So if you're on a DPS and if you're like, hey, I can get this support, but I will most likely die in the process, it is 100% worth it. If you as a DPS trade your life for a support or a tank, it is 100% worth it every single time. I'm promising you, especially if it's a support. because your team will most likely be able to capitalize off of that as well. So from there, after all of that kind of stuff, what you want to do is you want to anchor your team. Even if you're not the best player in the world, you could be the most stable one on your team, which is awesome. Like I've been there. I've been in a situation where my team's playing so much better than me. Like I'm not playing the best, but I'm trying, but I'm also kind of communicating to my team to keep them grounded, to keep them in a place to be like, oh yeah, like we're doing pretty well right now. Like it's fine. So what you want to do is you want to play safe, like kind of regroup more often and just don't feed. If you play closer to your allies, and even if you're not doing the most amount of work possible, it is still better to play together in a clumped unit sometimes rather than going off on your own and be like, yeah, I'm doing all right, but I'm dead now, so I'm running back from spawn. So just think about that. So others on your team will subconsciously follow stable play, if that makes sense. Like if you're alive more often and you're helping out your team and you're like in the fight and helping them out, your teammates will reciprocate that kind of energy and they will help you as well. And I know I've talked about this before, but I can't stress this enough. Like stop flaming or tilting in chat, especially if it's like the first fight or even if it's halfway through a match. Like even if the enemy team steamrolls you, and like say you're on defense on a payload map and the enemy team steamrolls you and they get all the way to the end, they get all 3 points, that doesn't stop you. Like that's got nothing to do with your offense at all. Like you turn that around, you regroup, you change some things on offense, you can push them, you can push that thing all the way back. The amount of times I've seen people give up halfway through a match, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't happen. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, comebacks don't really require miracles. It's more about discipline, awareness, and really just believing in your team more or less. So it's one of those things where you just gotta be having a more strong mental than a lot of other players in the game. And if you can come back and not give up, you will win so many more matches than you think you're capable of, and that will make you so much better of a player. I promise you, becoming a better player is all about the mental strength, and if you get this down pat, I promise you guys, the sky's the limit for you. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I've said this so many times, but the reception that we've gotten to this video, to this series, has been nothing short of amazing. So guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You guys could do me a few giant favors in return. I say this every video, but if you could hit that like button for me, subscribe, I would appreciate both of those. And today, our comment question is, what is the biggest comeback that you've ever pulled off in Marvel Rivals? Like, please, like, tell me your best hype story right now. From me, it was one of those situations where, yeah, the enemy team pushed us so hard on offense, on the payload, where they pushed it all the way and they had like 4 minutes remaining and we like barely got it there in overtime on our offense, but we still ended up winning because when it came to like round 3 and 4, we were able to really turn things around and I loved it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.